here's Brody Brazil.
It is officially that time of the baseball offseason where you can look at your favorite team and wonder, how much money exactly were you planning on spending on this upcoming year's payroll? And because of it, how many games precisely were you planning on winning? Now, I'm one that's here to say, and I'll make this very clear, winning and spending do not always go hand in hand. It's not a direct relationship. There is a correlation here, which we're about to spell out very clearly. But winning and spending aren't always guarantees for each other, if that makes sense. And let me just show you right from the start here what exactly is going on with this graph. By the way, thanks to Brooksgate for putting this together, we've got total wins from 2020 to 2024 on the left, so more wins at the top, and then total spending from left to right. So obviously, more winning, more spending, and look who's top right way up there. Of course, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. And that's where we're going to begin with this conversation. I realize there's a lot of people who are angry at the Dodgers for being all the way up there and out there. But I mean, look at the Mets. Actually, the Mets spend more than the Dodgers, and they're basically right on the league average of how many wins these teams have had from 2020 through the 2024 baseball season. There's no exact science. My point is that is not a guarantee. And the way the Dodgers are doing it, by deferring money, nobody loves that. The fact that they keep getting free agent after free agent, huge signing after huge signing, it's basically contagious and they're printing money, but they are doing this. They are spending money and winning games, and because they're winning games, they can spend more money and sponsors and advertising and all that stuff. But look, there are some other successful teams out here in this different realm. So again, they are kind of in a different spot right now, but the Dodgers, wow, in terms of winning and spending, they're kind of on a different planet. But let me showcase this, and it proves the point here that winning and spending, there is a correlation, but it doesn't always work out maybe how you expect or plan. Look at the Rays. Look at the Yankees. In terms of spending, the Rays are there. They're sub $600 million, and the Yankees are what, $1.3 billion? So basically twice as much, but here's the thing. You draw that line of wins left to right. In fact, let me redo that. Let me make that green. So it's, well, no, that's not a good line. Is that a straight line? Let me try and draw a straight line there. Okay. Basically, the Rays and Yankees have a similar amount of wins from 2020 through 2024, but the amount of money that each team spent to get that amount of wins and put themselves in a playoff position, entirely different. So I want to make that very clear. And there's a lot of different teams in that situation of maybe how much they spend. I mean, look at the difference between the Brewers and Phillies. Phillies are a good team, but so are the Brewers. But look, Milwaukee spent a lot less money than the Phillies did over the years. The Padres, kind of the same thing. Fewer wins, but also spent a lot more money. There's different ways of doing this. I also think, too, it depends on the age and maturity of your team. If you're an up-and-coming team, you might be able to spend less, but soon after that, you're going to have to spend more once you get through the arbitration years and free agency years if you want to keep that group together and ultimately be successful for a long time. But now I want to get to what I think is the most important part of this video. There actually is, I think, a correlation between spending and winning, and it's right here. It is this big line. Have you seen all those teams right there? Right there on that arc. There's a lot of teams that make sense there. And I'll tell you what, I'll even draw a group of teams here that's unluckier right below. We'll talk about them in a second. And then maybe I'll do this in green, some teams that are overperforming right here. I'll leave the Dodgers crossed off right now. They're way out there. But you can kind of see here, there's three different groups. And it's this red group in the middle that makes the most sense to me of how much you spend kind of dictates how many games you win. Again, doesn't mean championships. Spending doesn't mean playoffs. Spending doesn't necessarily mean anything. But generally speaking, it's not a guarantee, but this is the correlation. That is the line right there. So many teams are on that big line. They prove that you kind of get what you pay for. Now, again, there are some teams like the Nats and Rockies and, the White Sox and Angels. Now, I don't know if the Angels are bad luck or if they just cannot pick the right group of players and teams to come together. But look at the Rangers and Cubs and Red Sox. And, the Mets spend a lot of money, but they're all down there in kind of this, we'll call it the unlucky area. They're blue because, they're feeling blue down there. And then up here, the teams that are in the green, they've got to be feeling good. The Guardians, the Mariners, the Brewers, even the Orioles to a certain degree. I mean, they've won fewer games than the league average, but still is not spending hardly much more than, I almost called them the Oakland A's, the Athletics, wherever they belong. Point is here, you've got the luckier than normal teams here, you've got the unlucky teams here, but you really do have right here in the middle. I'll do it in red again. That is the big line right there that shows you the relationship between spending and winning. Now, final thought here is the group on the bottom left, this bottom left quadrant right here. This is the group of teams that are not spending money and not winning games. And so what's the motivation here? If there's revenue sharing, if you're getting several hundreds of millions of dollars a year just to be a baseball team, and there's no real motivation to get over here on the spending, maybe get up here in the winning, it's too easy, I think, to camp out over here and to just make enough to get by, or to make, the value of your team inflates over years. And you don't have to make much money year to year. It's an asset to you. It's something you're hanging on to. You'll pass along, or maybe you'll turn around and sell it, but the value of it is going up. You're not putting much into your team over here, and you're not spending money, and you're not winning games. Now, these teams up here, at least they're winning, I guess. At least there is some tact to it. But these teams down here, not spending, not winning across the last 4 years, and that makes me wonder, are we due, not for a salary cap, but for a salary floor, to push it so that this line here has to be a little bit farther this way? All these teams here have to be over here somewhere. Does that make sense? Does that work? Does it work like that? Do you care about that? Should we care about that for the betterment of the game? Anyway, I thought this was very interesting. Again, when I said before that winning and spending are not entirely related, they don't guarantee each other, but they are related. They do correlate. There is some sense between the two, and I think this graph right here proves it. Thanks to Brooksgate, always making great stuff, very visual for us to see and comprehend. I appreciate that. Appreciate you sticking around here to the end of this video. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me and this video and this channel. And speaking of the channel, do me one more quick favor. Before this video ends, go down there and hit that subscribe button. That way I can definitely see you back here next time.